Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Jurassic World Dominion video. In today's Jurassic World Dominion video, we are going to be going over a recent interview done with Sam Neill by Variety.com that does suggest that maybe we could have Jurassic World Dominion being a two-part movie. So as many of you guys may know, Sam Neill has a new movie releasing which is called Rams, and recently he's been on many TV shows and interviews trying to promote the use of it. However, in this interview done by Variety.com, not only does he promote Rams, but he speaks about the influence of Jurassic World Dominion and what it's like to be part of an amazing movie franchise. He also does tease some few things about what he spoke to Chris Pratt about, and also how long we can expect Jurassic World Dominion to be. So I will read out this interview, however I'll skip out all of the things about Rams and other things that is spoken about, but there will be a link to this interview down in the description down below if you wish to read the whole article. However, it is stated here that Neill reprises his role as paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant in the new film, partly filmed during the pandemic and due out in 2022, and jokes that the cast excitably churned out what could become a 6-hour movie. Sam Neill went on to say, "It's going to be a big film. Colin Trevorrow has that childlike sense of wonder, playfulness and inventiveness that Steven Spielberg has. We really shot a 6-hour movie. We are all very gung-ho." Now I know before I actually started that quote, it does say that they were joking about excitably about a 6-hour movie. As we know, most movies aren't really going to be 6 hours long. I think the longest movie in recent times that's done really well would actually have to be Avengers Endgame, which was just over 3 hours long. Now most fans are expecting to see this movie be around 2 hours 45 to the 3 hour 5 minute. So where exactly could we expect to see Jurassic World Dominion become? Obviously not all 6 hours of this movie that has been shot are going to release, so you do have to keep that in mind. However, I would happily sit through a 6-hour movie of Jurassic. I've done it before, I'll bloody do it again. But some people have actually started to question this as to whether or not we could see a part 2 of Jurassic World Dominion being released in 2023. I'm not really for that idea. I think they'll end it on a part 1 and it will only be a part 1 of Jurassic World Dominion, as it feels like Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom and Dominion are all a 3-part series. So you do have to keep that in mind. I highly doubt we'll see Dominion part 2. However, I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see it. I would absolutely love to see Dominion part 2. What we could expect to see is a 3-hour movie for part 1 and then maybe just over a 2-hour movie for part 2. Although that kind of doesn't leave them with much leeway of unreleased footage. I believe it will be just under an hour long, and I think most movies do tend to have around an hour or two of unseen footage, some even lasting 3 hours, such as Justice League. So it would be pretty cool if you were to ask me if we do get a 2-part movie. I don't think it's going to happen, but it still would be pretty cool. But yes, he does confirm, saying it is going to be a big film. Hopefully that means around 3 hours 15, because there's nothing more I want than a 3-hour Jurassic movie, especially if it's going to be as anticipated and hopefully as good as we expect for Jurassic World Dominion. He continues to say hopefully there'll be thousands of massive cinemas ready for it because it's a big film for big audiences. And tell you what, as soon as tickets go live in my local cinema, I am going to go and buy those tickets and go straight there to watch it on the first day it releases, because by the sounds of it and the way he's protruding it, it kind of seems like it's going to be similar to Avengers Endgame, where it's going to be tears, cheers, you know, loads of good stuff happening, loads of emotional scenes happening that he'd love to share with other fans on the first day it releases. So I really hope that this pandemic does get sorted so I can experience it with loads of other people as well. Now, he was actually questioned exactly where we can find Dr. Grant in the year of 2022. And he proceeds to say, same character, but different world, different times. Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler haven't seen each other for some time, so we'll see how that pans out. Now that's really cool, because I know loads of people are still shipping Ellie Sattler and Dr. Grant to get together. We don't really know what's happened with Ellie Sattler's lover, or husband shall we say, in 2001. We haven't really had any information about what exactly happened with them in the lead up to Jurassic World, so finding out what happened in their backstory would be really cool. And I think he kind of teases something here, spoiler alert, just skip about 10 seconds ahead, but he does tease how it says, so you'll see how that pans out. Could that mean they could get back together? I would love to see something like that. But it does sound like he had an eventful 2020. Not only did he have the pandemic to deal with, but he did actually say how he was filming for Jurassic World Dominion, and then the pandemic hit, and then he went back to Australia, filmed for Rams because it wasn't as bad in Australia, and then as soon as England confirmed that the cases are lower and that people can return for filming, Jurassic World Dominion started filming again, and he arrived back in England. But he does actually say a very interesting thing here that kind of saddens me, and I'm glad isn't true. He proceeds to say, no one knew whether Jurassic would continue, be postponed, or be abandoned altogether. The world turned into a darker place, and that was strange, but I found it liberating in a creative type of way. Now that kind of makes my heart sink a little bit. There was a potential time in 2020 where Jurassic may have just been abandoned altogether. I'm so glad that didn't happen, and that they found a way to remain COVID safe and produce this movie to the best of their current abilities, and I'm so glad that wasn't the case. My heart is just, I don't know, I'm really upset hearing that there was a potential that Jurassic would have been postponed or even just abandoned. Like, that really gets me on edge, and I'm really worried about that. But I'm glad to hear that filming is finally stopped now, and you know, it's over, it's happened, we've got it all done, and it's into the editing stage we go. So I'm really glad that's the case. Jurassic World Dominion actually resumed production in July in London. Neill was tested 3 times weekly for COVID-19 while staying near Pinewood Studios with a cast and crew of around 750, very similar to E750, including Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. Neill jokingly says it was somewhere between rehab, summer camp and Easter break. But what's really cool there is the fact that Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt were around the same filming areas as Sam Neill, so that kind of confirms that hopefully in a few scenes we will see Sam Neill, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard speaking together at the same time. There's something weird going on in my head that I just can't wait to see Claire Dearing, Owen Grady and Dr. Alan Grant speaking in the same scene. I never thought I'd see anything like that, and I'm so excited for it. Sam Neill also reflects about the 50 years, yes, 50 years he has been filming for certain movies, such as Hunt for the Wilder People, Thor Ragnarok, obviously Jurassic Park, Peaky Blinders, and Alcatraz. He does open up a little bit saying that it's uncertainty. What I mean by this is as soon as you finish a film, you don't know if you have a future in films, whether another cast production team will reach out to collect you into their cast, whether you'll actually achieve greatness again, and he does open up about this. There's a little bit of insecurity, he says, and that kind of shines a light what's going on currently in the movie basis, especially during these times. And here we actually have Sam Neill and Chris Pratt having a conversation. He does say, for instance, I had a long discussion with Chris Pratt about how to leave a room. It sounds straightforward, but there's many ways to leave a room in a scene. He's got some good ideas, however. And that kind of wraps up everything that Sam Neill did speak about Jurassic World Dominion. Now, speaking to Chris Pratt about how to leave a room really does sound like something. I know it doesn't really sound like much originally, but when you think about it, you know, there's little things that Alan Grant does do in the Jurassic Park movies that kind of makes him Alan Grant. And if he weren't to do it, you'll be a bit like, So similarly, I believe he was speaking to Chris Pratt to try and make Owen Grady his real life character. You've got to leave a room similar to how Owen Grady would leave a room. Chris Pratt did actually start to do that very well in Fallen Kingdom, so I'm glad hopefully he'll continue that into Dominion. But Sam Neill is now 73, so listening to him is definitely something you need to listen to. 50 years of filming, 73 years on this planet. But that kind of does wrap up everything that he did say about Dominion in this article right here. So if you wish to go read the article, you're more than welcome to, with a link down in the comment section down below. But I'm very excited to actually watch his movie Rams. It looks very cool, and you know, it's a bit of Sam Neill. Who doesn't like a bit of Sam Neill? So I'd happily watch Rams. But in the meantime, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, please press that like button and do subscribe as we are getting closer to 30,000 subscribers. Not only that, but let me know from this interview what you're exactly excited for down in the comment section down below. But in the meantime, hope you guys have enjoyed. Like, comment and subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.